Hollywood shows bombing raids as neat rows of planes dropping perfect strings of bombs, explosions blossoming cleanly below. The truth was far more terrifying. In the final years of World War II, Allied bombers didn't just hit targets. They made entire German cities collapse in a single night. Not through precision, but through overwhelming firepower, firestorms, and sheer industrial math. At the start of the war, bombing was small-scale, dozens of planes at most, dropping a few hundred bombs. By 1943, it had become apocalyptic. British Bomber Command and the U.S. 8th Air Force sent 1,000 bomber raids. Each aircraft carried tons of bombs, high explosive to shatter buildings, incendiaries to ignite them. The goal wasn't just to destroy factories. It was to erase whole cities from the map. Let's look at Hamburg, July 1943. Operation Gomorrah. Over 8 days, 9,000 tons of bombs were dropped. That's 18 million pounds of explosives. The effect was not just destruction, but a firestorm. Thousands of smaller fires merged into one. Winds of 150 miles per hour sucked oxygen from the streets. Temperatures rose to 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt steel. Entire neighborhoods were incinerated. 42,000 people died in a single week. Survivors described people bursting into flames just by stepping outside. Dresden in February 1945 was similar. The city was packed with refugees. Over 2 days, 200 bombers dropped 3,900 tons of explosives. Firestorms raged through the city, killing 25,000. The destruction was so complete that city blocks vanished without a trace. People hiding in basements suffocated as oxygen was sucked out. One survivor wrote, "The fire didn't burn you. It swallowed you." Here's the brutal arithmetic. By 1945, Allied bombers had dropped 1.4 million tons of bombs on Germany. That's 2.8 billion pounds. Cities like Cologne, Essen, and Berlin lost more than half their buildings. Over 500,000 civilians died. Millions were left homeless. German industry collapsed not because of single strikes, but because there was nothing left standing to support it. American daylight raids added another dimension. Flying fortresses bombed factories with deadly accuracy. Schweinfurt, ball-bearing capital of Germany, was hit repeatedly. Without ball bearings, tanks and aircraft broke down. Synthetic fuel plants were leveled. By late 1944, Germany produced only a fraction of the fuel needed for panzers and aircraft. Pilots trained for months only to find there was no gasoline to fly. The psychological impact was just as devastating. Air raid sirens became part of daily life. Children grew up sleeping in cellars. Civilians carried buckets of sand to fight fires that could never be stopped. Cities became ghost towns at night, only to wake to rubble in the morning. Albert Speer, Germany's armaments minister, admitted after the war, "The bombing was the greatest lost battle of the war." The irony was overwhelming. Germany had invested in massive surface weapons, tanks, battleships, rockets. None of them stopped the bombers. The Luftwaffe, once feared, was bled dry by the Eastern Front and fuel shortages. By 1944, bomber streams of 1,000 aircraft could fly deep into Germany almost unopposed. Flak guns filled the sky with steel, but couldn't shoot enough down. The Allies lost planes, but they built more. Germany could not. One U.S. general explained it simply. "We fought the German army with artillery. We fought the German cities with bombers. Both battles were won by math." Hollywood rarely shows this scale. One neat explosion sells tickets. The reality was entire square miles burning at once. Firestorms turning asphalt into liquid. People dying not from bombs, but from suffocation. By May 1945, German cities were shells. Cologne had been hit 262 times. Berlin was rubble. Dresden glowed red from the sky. The Wehrmacht still fought, but its factories, fuel, and homes were gone. Bombers had made sure of that. The truth is brutal. In a single night, thousands of tons of bombs could turn a city into ash. No fortress, no bunker, no willpower could resist that scale of destruction. Germany collapsed, not only on the battlefield, but under the weight of Allied bombers. Hollywood doesn't show it, but the real story of the bombing war isn't precision or heroism. It's industrial slaughter from the sky.